Welcome viewers to another exciting episode of Gospel PR. This is where we discuss the issues, the trending issues in the Christian gospel space. I go by the name Dave Hazel, and I tell you what, today's topic on the convo is exciting, it's amazing. This is what we'll be discussing. Creating a strong brand as a Christian artist. Creating a strong brand as a Christian artist. And guess what? I've been joined by two very fine gentlemen, creative as well. So I have Julius and Belo with me, and I'll make them talk. Okay, so Julius, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Julius.
Yes.
I prefer to be called Ofori. A lot of people know me as Ofori.
Yes.
I'm a communications person.
Yes.
And I'm a creative person, and so I'm a blogger as well. So yeah. I do photography and documentaries and stuff on the side. Yes. And then I do my blogging on the side. And I do like creative direction and stuff. So I mean a mix of creating everything and communications.
Yeah. You've been wired to be creative.
Yeah.
We thank God for that. Okay, so Belo.
Yes.
Mr. Belo.
Yes. So my name is Belo, Cide, Haruna.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I've been doing marketing, communications, and branding for over 12 years now, working with various and diverse companies, international and local companies as well. Yeah, I do also have a strong background in events, and also I'm a very, let's say, a solid creative person as well, because if you don't really understand creativity, trust me, you can do marketing, or else people will just be creating some content just for you, and you also just be, okay, let's go ahead with that, and then later I'll give you your. So I'm very strong when it comes to the creative aspect as well.
Guys, you're welcome to the show. So the convo begins now. We've heard about branding. What is a brand? I begin with Julius.
Okay, thank you. So usually, like you said, we've heard a lot about branding, but in simple terms, I believe that branding is how people feel when they hear your name or when they see you.
Okay.
You get it. And so what perception do you have in people's minds? That is your brand. And so branding is, trying to create that perception into people's mind. In our local dialect, there's this saying that but to wait, so your beauty can take you, but your character will bring you back. In branding, you have to mix the beauty and the character together. You get it, so that you have a solid, in quotes, brand. You get it. So it's more beauty and character as defined by the people for you.
Okay, Mr. Belo, yourself, your take on this. What is a brand?
Okay, so just to expand, basically he said what I wanted to say. Just to expand on what he said, it's basically about perception. But before, people tend to mix what branding is and what a brand is. They are two different. As he said, branding has to do with the process of creating a brand. So a brand is more or less like all the efforts you put in the branding, and that's more like the end product. So I'll give an example. I don't know if you're allowed to mention products. Okay. Yeah, so I'll give an example like Coke. Okay. The moment you hear Coke, you don't only see it as a drink. There's this lifestyle around. There's this perception you have towards Coke. If I mention any other telecoms company, you have a perception towards it. Yes, same applies to the Christian world. If I should mention any of the gospel artists, you have a perception towards that person. That is the brand the person has created for himself. And the person has done that over the years to get to that side. And all that process he did to get to that particular side, where it's now that perception you have towards him now, has to do with the branding process. So the end product is what you would call the brand. But the one key thing I need to also add is, for branding is it's a process.
It's a process.
It's a process.
So it's an everyday thing.
Exactly. It never, because if that's the case, then the big companies will stop advertising.
So God has given me a song.
Yeah.
I'm gifted. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Why should I brand?
Yes. I know, yes,
Why
we
should
do.
gospel artists
Good. We do have, let's say, yes, we would say we have our own individual grace that God has given us. But aside that, you have to mix those things with the business side of it as well. Because you can't just say, okay, I have grace, so I just have this song, I've done this song. Okay, then don't promote it. Then just keep it to yourself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So branding is important. It's key, because three things that would always stand out if you brand. Obviously, you need to show the people who you are. Because then if you don't tell them who you are, who's going to even buy into your music or even listen to you? Okay. Also, you have to show them what you stand for, what you believe in. If you say you're a gospel artist and you don't believe in Jesus Christ, or let's say, it doesn't work that way. You need to let people know, because that's the foundation. So you need to let people know what you believe, what you stand for, and finally how you're going to, propagate that message to change the world. So these three key things really stand out. If you don't do your branding, well, obviously these things will not come. So these are the foundation.
Sorry. The early apostles had a brand such that people referred to them as Christians.
As Christians.
You get it? So
they were Christ-like.
Exactly. Like so that was the brand.
Okay.
You get it? And so people could see them and see that, this is the brand of the man we have encountered. And so that is why you need, so that you can get an identity. Also, just to add to what my big brother said, branding will make you stand out because, like you said, a lot of people are doing the same thing. So how do you stand out? It is branding that can help you stand out. Branding can help you build trust. Because now when people know you for something specific, then they are able to, trust that, this person, for example, you are known to be like a praise giant.
Yes.
As for you, when you come, praise is maybe soon. Now people know that, when I'm doing my events, I can put my head on the table that when this guy comes, praise is no or best. So that is trust. And then now they are even loyal to you. So it builds loyalty as well. And then the one other key thing is that it also builds perceived value.
Okay.
And when I say perceived value, it's, value is what people give to your brand. You can value yourself, but if I don't value you, you are still valueless.
Okay, so Belo, is this a necessity for Christian artists to brand themselves? Should they be seen in a public space?
They have to, because even being in church is a public space.
Yes, it is.
So you have to do it, because then that differentiates you.
But I'm singing in church. I mean, isn't that enough?
No, because then unless
God sees me.
Okay, good. Then unless maybe from the beginning,
yes,
maybe that was your plan all along. Okay. Just maybe my ideal target group is, let's say, Action Chapel. So probably I'll just be there. So then that meets your objectives. But if your objective is to actually cut across even the Christendom too, because at the end of the day, you want to bring unbelievers into Christianity. So if that is your objective, then obviously you would have to really brand and really position yourself. And as he said, one thing I can add, you need to create a unique identity. As he said, if it comes to praise and worship, you would know. Even the three of us, if you mention the top three gospel, you will have some two or two people who will surely, yes, because they've built a strong brand for that. So it is very important, because then you need to position yourself. Because if you don't position yourself or you don't send a message out, how are people going to hear about you? Because if you only sing at your church and I'm in a different church or in a different country, how am I going to hear? How am I going to know about you? So branding is key. And one tricky thing about branding is, you see, based on the definitions we gave, perception. Perception is subjective. Subjectivity is very complex.
Yes.
So even your loyal customer would have a perception towards your brand, but a new customer will have a different perception. You get it? That's the tricky thing about branding. So day in and day out, even the experts are still struggling to get a proper definition, because it's evolving. It's evolving. Because that's the way perception, human feelings
are not static.
Exactly.
You get it? How you feel about me today, based on how I smell, how I'm dressed, how I'm talking, will be totally different from when you see me another time. And then you are like, so you see, just to add to the question you asked, like I mentioned earlier, the perceived value helps, you're a gospel artist. People have to purchase your content, or people even have to sow into or invest into. When they feel that, I get value from, this minister there, when he sings or when he ministers, I feel the spirit.
Okay.
That perception they have about you it makes them want to invest in you. So you put a video out there, they'll go and watch it and even share it for people to. That is value. You get it. They will, when they come to your events, they will sow. They will, you know, drop seeds and stuff. You get it. So
So Belo, what constitutes a unique identity for like as a gospel artist?
Okay, a unique identity obviously would have to be first and foremost. It has to start from your personality.
Your personality?
Because the thing, we are all different, and in that uniqueness, we stand out. You can't be somebody else.
Okay.
So it has to start with you. You have to do a reflection and know where your strengths and what your weaknesses are. If you know you're good at praise and worship, you put more effort in there. If you know you're good at gospel rap, you put in your effort there. So it starts with you identifying your strengths and your weaknesses. And obviously, it comes to the normal thing, the rest of the things that like has to do with the brand itself, with your, you know, your logo, your persona, your messaging. All these things has to be consistent because you can't have different messages on separate platforms. We need to know you for this. Even how you look, we need to know you for this. If you want to go funky always, we need to know that brand, that is who you are. If you want to go traditional or you want to go a particular way, people need to know that's how you are. The thing at the end of the day, the mind. Attention, now the attention span is actually up to, I think, 2 seconds. 3. People don't have time. So people don't like complicated things. So you need to do things very simple for them to easily identify and recognize you. If you do things complex, they say, when they just.
So they're simple things.
They're very simple things. And very simple things.
And do our artists have them?
Oh, I would say a lot. You see, let me just put this across. A lot of people confuse popularity with branding.
Popularity and branding are two different things.
And that's an error, because you can hit and be popular, but then you are not branded, and so you just pass. And we've seen a lot of artists, you know, the brand is not standing, it's not solid, and so once maybe per chance you get a hit song and you blow, after a while nobody hears about you again because you don't have a solid brand. But there are people who have not released songs for how many years, and everybody knows, still hears about them. So, you know, in building a brand, I believe, like my colleague has said, he has mentioned the, you know, the identity, having the brand identity, also having a target audience, you know, having a target audience. So like adding to what he said, who are your target? Is it the youth? Is it the aged? Is it the, you know, hippie guys? Is it the SHS guys? If you know your target audience, you're able to couch yourself to meet, because then if your target is the youth or the SHS people, and you are always dressing, wearing kaftan, wearing suits, Charlie, they can't identify with you. You get it?
Jeans, your
Charlie,
sneakers and all that.
Cap and all that. Also, one important thing about branding is deliver quality. Quality. Don't, you know, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of, you know, photo shoots, a lot of, you know, designs and things, but then you hear the song, is nothing to write home about. You get it? Deliver quality. The quality is very important with the brand. You get it? And then lastly, you know, he did mention about...
So the Belo also comes in.
Sure. He did mention about, you know, the consistency. Yeah. And one key thing I do tell artists is that, for example, you do a photo shoot, you have 50 pictures.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to be using different pictures for every event. So this person invites you for an event, you send them this picture. This person sends you an event, you send him this picture. And that's an advice I keep giving artists, that you did your photo shoot.
Yes.
Pick one picture from it that you say you are using for the whole year, or for the next 3 years, or for the next 2 years.
Okay.
That way, people have seen that picture so much that the moment they see it on a flyer, they know that it is you.
They know it is you.
You get it.
So Belo, what are some of the benefits of branding as in a gospel space?
Okay. First and foremost, awareness.
Awareness.
Because at the end of the day, if I don't know about you, I'll not even listen to your music.
Okay.
So I need to know about you, because because at the end of the day, it's a battle for the attention of the minds of the people.
Exactly.
So you need to occupy the person's mind. So that you need to be have like top of the mind awareness.
Yes.
You have to create your brand in a way that if today I'm looking for, like, let's say I'm going to do one event, and I'm looking for a top gospel, the first 3, your name needs to appear in there, because if you don't have a solid brand, then How would I even know about you? So that's one. Secondly, recognition. Recognition, you need to stand out. You need to really stand out. You really need to stand out. Also, I would also touch on one thing that he said, also having a lawyer base. Expanding on that. You see this lawyer base?
Yes.
These guys are the ones who make you and break you. Because for some reason, there's this 20-80% rule in every business, and even in all the companies that I've worked with. These 20% people are the ones who continuously give you money. Because they are the ones who keep coming back. The same principle applies to the fan base. Even if as you veer off into the, let's say, secular music, you have people who have, you have the SAC natives, the BIM natives. These are core guys who would become your, exactly. So they become, so they move from, exactly.
They will jump on it.
Exactly. So the advantage is that they transform from just being your core fans to your advocates. And the moment you get to that side, then your band is going to last for long. You can decide not to release song for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. These guys will continue buying your stuff. These are the same people whereby if a brand takes you as a brand ambassador, would go. So it will transcend and go beyond. So branding is very key. People take it lightly, but then it's for real. And there's been a current chat. I see most of them are seeing it, and a lot of people are trying to catch up. But still, the gap is quite big. The gap is good.
So Julius, let's get practical here. Walk us through the branding process.
Okay.
How does an artist create a brand?
Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, branding is not just the designing and artworks and photo shoots. You get it? Like we've rightly said, once you have a specific brand identity, you know your, like in corporate world, they'll say the vision statement, mission statement. You get it? It makes it clear what God, first of all, what has God called you to do? Who has He called you to?
That's key.
If you don't have that, and you are just, trying to do something, a lot of people have not been called. You get it? They just can't sing. So once you have that identity or that figured out, like I mentioned earlier, you know your target audience, and so you are going to them. And then consistency, keep doing it. In our era, people get tired too early. People, the Joe Metals and the emojis that we know, they were backing Daninete.
They've been around for a very long time.
At the time when we didn't know them, where we just saw them as BVs.
Yeah.
They were backing. But today, even Dinah Hamilton, she shared about how she used to back one of these old. You get it? And so consistency, the fact that I'm doing it, nobody is seeing me. Keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Like I keep saying, it's not everybody who will blow, but just keep doing it. Once your brand is identified, build relationships. Relationships are key, because as you are, growing, or as you are keeping, you are doing it, you have to, for like the industry people, they have to get connections to Dominion TV. They have to, so that when their song is out, they can call, I have a new song. Can you guys play it for me? Build relationships. People can call you for events and stuff. So once you build relationships, you are building your brand as well. And like I said, quality. And then also you have to evolve, adapt and evolve. When this whole social media thing came, like Facebook and stuff, a lot of people were, sis and stuff. But COVID has taught us that we can actually do church on social media. You get it? Yeah. And so adapt and evolve with the times, what is coming. So now you see that, Amapiano beat has come. Are you in the
have you adapted to that Amapiano?
You get it? And can you, that is, if you are an urban artist.
Sorry for cutting. Let me have Belo take on the practicalities. I mean, how can you also build a brand?
Okay, first and foremost, as I said, you need to know who you are. You need to know where your strength. And this, you need to do it consciously. And because that is the first start. If you get it wrong, the rest would mess up. So that's the foundation. I think there was some time I was listening to Joe Metal, I think on an interview on one of the TV stations, and they asked him the same thing. How come your brand has actually lasted this long? And then they asked him if he copied people or he saw some people as competition. All he said was, and I agree with that totally, all he said was, these people were there before me. I learned from all of them.
Wow.
And I know that I was, like, I am different. I can't be like them. I also have my unique, as I said, you have your calling. So you have to just look at the good things they do. And myself, that's what I do. That's what I've done till where I get to a workplace I don't understand. I ask. I don't care if I'm older than the person. I don't care. I want to learn.
You want to learn.
So first and foremost, you need to know that you do this thing, then you're on track. Second, your objectives, as I said, where do you want to get? Do you want to be known just in Ghana? Do you want to be known in West Africa, the world? When you know this, then that's when you will know how to get there. That's when your plan are going to come in. Yeah. I don't know how they do it, but then in the corporate world, there's a plan, there's a roadmap that you need to follow. And I think a lot of them should also apply these things, because you should have a roadmap. You should have a plan at all times, checking your progression, your progression, and then also know the right channels to use based on your budget you have. If you have a small budget, you should know where to go. If you have a big budget, you should also know where to go. But not just pushing the money as well. You need to also measure the performances. The performance of what your budget spend is doing. If you see one channel, if you see radio is not really getting my money, I can repurpose that money into something else, because at the end of the day, I want my brand to be out there. I should be loud as much as possible and be almost catch all the eyeballs. So if a channel is not giving me that, I need to move to another part. And the most important, also feedback from industry people. These things are things you can do on the side. Let your management team find out from these people. Like we have something called social listening. Try and get to know what people are figuring. Because at the end of the day, you are evolving, you are adapting. And this is the best way you can evolve and adapt and get to wherever you want to get to.
One key thing that I wanted to add earlier is, especially as a gospel artist, you need the Holy Spirit.
That's key.
He's the one who tells you go here and you go, go there and you go. Else, you'll be trying everything. You get it. So once you have a very strong relationship with the Holy Spirit, when you're putting in the efforts, the Holy Spirit knows where you can plant this and it will germinate. You get it.
So from the top of your mind, can you imagine one or two gospel acts in Ghana who are up there in terms of branding and reasons for that? Adam Ooh.
Adam is when I was young. Till now. If Adam releases a song today, he is still playing shows today.
The reasons?
Because he's consistent with what he does. You know, we've seen people who have come and they evolve too early or too quickly, and they divert from what they do.
Yes.
Adam Reku, what he was doing, the way his music was, when you hear the keyboard and hear you know it is Adam Reku. You get it. So, but they didn't have a conscious effort to branding. And so, when we come to the modern times, you can look at someone like Joe Metal, Dana Hamilton, and MOG, you know, in recent. And I've seen that, you know, Ohima Messi is also doing, you know, very well. And let me not forget this woman. Celestine
Donko.
She's doing very well these days. I've seen that they are putting in efforts. Yeah.
So, Belo, one or two music acts that are really, really up there in terms of branding and reasons for that.
Okay, first, Tego Sisters.
Tego Sisters.
So I'll do like Then and Now. So Tego Sisters and then Joe Metal. Because for some reason, anytime the word gospel comes out, for some reason, they are the ones who come up. As I said, it is subjective. And this is how I've perceived them growing up. I've always used them as a yardstick. And then now Joe Metal, because I feel like now he can easily identify with the youth. And at the end of the day, Africa has the largest youth population. So you need somebody to tap into those people and bring them to the side of God.
Wow. So we just want to summarize whatever we have said. I mean, key points for you, Julius, Belo.
Okay, so basically, branding is the process of you creating people's perception about you.
Okay.
And it can be created. A lot of things, you know, I keep telling friends that luxury is in the mind. When something is portrayed, you know, I made a post recently that, you know, in recent times, we are told that iPhone is a luxury phone. Like, and to me, my understanding is luxury means is not that common. You know, no. But in recent times, you see everybody from the Trotro mate to SHS people, they are all having iPhones. So does it mean that it's no longer luxury? You get, so it can be created, and no, they are still saying iPhone is there. You get, because they have created a certain perception, and everybody wants it. And so branding basically is you trying to push something in. They may not feel it's, you know, at the, you know, initial stage, but you are trying to with consistency put a certain image into the person's mind such that when they hear your name, they feel a certain way or they think a certain way. That basically is.
So your take, a summary, branding.
So brand, as I said, we should always have it at the back of our mind.
Yes.
That is a process.
Wow.
It will take time to build. Those people who got to where they are now didn't just do it in just a short period. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time. So that's the one. 2, know thyself. Know your strength.
Your weakness.
3rd, know your ideal target group. Who do you want to reach out to? And lastly, know how to measure and know how to get proper feedback so that you can evolve better and be the best version of yourself.
Be the best version of yourself. Wow. I mean, viewers, it's been an insightful convo with Belo and Julius. Wow, branding is key. I think we need to do this again another time. Another time. So we'll go for a break. I'll be right back. Keep watching Dominion TV. It's Gospel PR.